That's sweet. All right, awesome, Steve. Thank you for meeting with me. I'm excited to get to talk to you today.
You bet, Luke.
Okay, sweet. To kind of start off with some of the questions that I came to like ask you with. Uh, I guess for yourself, like what career path did you follow to get in your present position that you're in now?
Career path? That's a tough question, kind of, but I started going to school initially, and I had 2 years of schooling done. I did not finish. I ran out of money, and I kind of always wanted to get involved in real estate. I mean, if I'm being honest, although I didn't really know much about it, I didn't really know anybody in real estate. My family didn't have anything to do with real estate, but I ran out of money. I went home, met my wife, we got married, moved back to Utah, and started working for a company called Fidelity Investments with the idea that I was going to finish my degree and then go into some business. But I did not enjoy my job. I was there for like 2 years, felt like I was going nowhere. And one day decided I'm going to quit and go do real estate. This real estate broker had been trying to talk to me into doing real estate for a year. It's like, hey, you'd be great at it. Da, 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 da. So I made the plunge. That was 27 years ago.
Wow. That's awesome. And so I guess over these 27 years that you've been in it, so when you first got into real estate, what were you first doing? Were you just a real estate agent or were you working like
Good question. Good
just
question. Yes.
little side jobs?
Yeah, I was no, I went full bore. We had just bought a house. My son was just barely born, and I was not doing another job. I just went into real estate and did not have the option to fail. It was either fail or I was going to lose everything.
Wow.
So just worked and worked and worked to make it happen.
That's awesome. And so when you first started working, who were you working for? Were you working for who was like a company, I guess? Like what was the name of the company?
Yeah, good question. So when you have a real estate license in the state of Utah, you have to be licensed with a brokerage.
Mhm.
So I initially, this broker that had been talking to me was Century 21. So I started with him, and you just start as a normal real estate agent, just trying to get business to help people to use you to buy a house or to sell a house. It was a little bit tough when I first started because I didn't know very many people. I mean, honestly. So I didn't grow up here and I didn't have a network of people that I could rely on. I just had to get out and start talking to people.
That's sweet. I've always heard in like real estate that people knock doors and do different things like that. Did you ever do that?
I've never knocked on a door. I know there's people that do it and the people have success.
Uh,
But I had never knocked on any doors. I was just talking to everybody under the sun. This guy I met. He was my first deal, and he just called me and said, "Hey, my wife and I want to sell our house and buy a different house. Will you help us?" I was like, "Yeah, awesome." And so he was my first two deals, I guess. They
wow,
sold his house and helped them to buy another one.
that's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah,
Wow. And so
I've
now
I've I've talked to him a couple different times over the years, and I've thanked him for helping me not drown.
kind of get your feet underneath you, figure
Yeah.
it out. That's
Yep.
awesome. And I guess so right now, what's the position that you hold? What do you do now currently?
Well, I'm a real estate broker. I'm not an agent anymore. So you
Mm,
have to do a certain amount of business in the state of Utah, and you have to go to school and take another exam to be a real estate broker. So I started my broker's license. I got that back in 2000, and I want to say three, something like that, four maybe. But I currently own a company I have a partner, and he and I own the company together, and we have a bunch of different people and companies that work for us, and we kind of piecemeal out who takes care of what.
that's sweet. That's super cool. And so what's the name of what's the name of your company?
It's Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Elite Real Estate. It's a
Yes.
long name.
Mouthful. I love it though. It's a
Yeah.
good name. And so that's really, really cool that over these men, so you started off as a real estate agent, then I guess what's the process of becoming a broker like? Like how does that happen?
Well, you just have to do a certain amount of business. You can't, no one can just be a broker. And you have to have been in the business for, it used to be three, it used to be 5 years, but I think it's three, maybe it's five still. I can't remember, but, and you've had to have done like 40 transactions or something like that. And that license allows you to start your own company if you want, or if you just want to place your broker's license with somebody, a different company, you're considered an associate broker.
Oh, okay, sweet. And so if you're an associate broker, you work underneath like is it a principal broker then? And then
Yes. Yep.
okay, sweet. That's pretty awesome. So, um, I guess in the real estate market, how are like the competitors? Like, what are the competitors look like? With you owning your own company, like what's the competition like in the real estate market right now?
You mean competition as far as real estate companies or real estate agents?
Uh, I guess both in a sense. I guess what do you see more of, like real estate agent competition, or do you deal more with like the company competition?
Well, we deal more with companies. So there are different types of companies. Like there are companies that have a franchise fee that franchise, for example, we do Berkshire Hathaway, which is a top 20 company in the world. They just happen to also be involved in real estate. Other companies, there's Coldwell Banker, Better Homes and Gardens, Remax, and a bunch. And those are more of the larger Century 21. Those are more of the larger brokerages. And then there's a bunch of smaller brokers, like if people like me that went out and said, hey, I'm just going to do my own thing and I'm going to start my own broker. But you have to have a broker's license in the state of Utah in order to start your own company. So it's complicated and there's a lot to it. I mean, you're dealing with people's money, which is whenever you're talking about money, the state is always, and they should be, super cautious on how people deal with clients' money.
Oh,
But so we deal with that, and I spend my time mostly, myself and my partner. We actually have builders that work for us also, and our time honestly is charged with solving problems, answering questions, um, helping agents to be successful with their business, to get business. We spend a lot of time. We have some investments on our own that we are involved in together, and so it's an awesome business. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
wow, that's awesome, man. So I guess like you owning your own company and you being like a business owner, what's the culture of the company like? Are there any values that you guys prioritize at Berkshire Hathaway?
Yeah, great question. So we're probably, I think we're the largest by one of the largest in Utah County as far as agents are concerned. Maybe the second largest. I think there's one that might have more agents, but they're more part time. But we pride ourselves in being there to help our agents to be successful and teaching them ways to be successful. We think communication is super important. We think being honest with our clients is super important. Having a good name in the marketplace. We also think that being helpful in the community. We do a ton of stuff. Like in the last couple of years, we've raised money and gathered clothing for women's shelters, for food shelters in Utah County. We've gathered coats last year at Christmas time for homeless. We have put together food kits over the last 3 or 4 years, probably about 10,000 food kits that go to an elementary school.
Wow.
They receive funds for from the state because there are kids that show up to school that don't have lunches. We've raised money for suicide awareness for Alpine School District. So we've done a lot of that kind of stuff. So from a culture standpoint, we want to help our clients. We want to be professional, but we also think it's important for our people to be balanced in their lives and what they do.
Wow, that's awesome. And so that's really cool that you guys have had all these different opportunities to help out in the
Yeah.
community, and especially here in Utah County, being a Utah-based company. I guess like how did you get involved in those, or how did you find out? Was it just kind of word of mouth or people that you knew, or I guess how'd you get involved?
Good question. Some of it is our staff reaching out to find places, find needs. The suicide awareness, there's a young man that lives close to us that committed suicide about a year and a half ago, and called the school district to see if there was a need. And they said there was a need because there's no money right now currently for education.
Oh,
So we raised about $6,000 and gave it all to the school district for that. But a lot of it, when our agents will come to us and say, hey, look, I've got this cause, or there's this issue, or there's that, we'll then decide, we'll counsel together and decide if that's something we want to get behind. And if so, how do we go about it, and how do we support that cause?
that's super awesome.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
awesome.
cool that you guys have that like culture that you guys have agents that will come to you and pitch
Yep.
ideas of helping on the community. That's awesome and good for you guys. Oh, I guess like a different question for you is uh what are like the typical entry level jobs in like your industry? Is it just like getting a real estate license, or what is, if I wanted myself, I want to go into real estate, like what would you recommend me doing going into the real estate business?
Well, real estate, anybody can do as long as you have to take the school, the classes, you have to be at least 18. It's a 129-hour course, and you have to pass the test. The test has federal as well as state questions to help you understand what the laws are. I would say that being a good communicator is something that's super important. If you were to say, hey, I wanted to do real estate, we discuss, okay, what kind of money do you have set aside to build your business? Because real estate agents are independent contractors, which means they're responsible for their taxes. They're responsible for everything of building their business. And we assist and help them with that. That's our job. So, depending upon your situation, I'd say hop in and go. I mean, it's like anything. People can spend a lot of time getting ready to get ready, but getting in, putting your straps on, getting wet and getting after it, that's what you need to do in real estate. As far as, you know, that's one of the things I think that's being successful is not having too many irons in the fire. I mean, get one. If you want to do, if real estate's your thing, get it, go after it, give it everything you've got. Don't do half here, half there. Those people don't tend to be very successful.
Hmm. That's sweet. I love that. I love that advice. I guess, did you see that? Have you seen that in your own career of like just putting one iron in the fire and just getting after it? I just going and getting it.
Yeah, I have. I focused on real estate before. Well, I was an associate broker and I was selling real estate, and I focused on foreclosures in Utah County,
Mhm.
and I sold a lot of those. Starting in 2000, actually, probably 2000, I started selling foreclosures for banks. And then as the years progressed, I developed relationships and ended up selling quite a few over the years.
Wow, that's awesome. And so you went foreclosures, and then now you're more of doing it sounds like a lot of management and what you're
It
doing.
is. Yeah, there's a lot of management, a lot of leadership, helping people, a lot of personal development, helping
Mhm.
people progress. And I've got in my office, someone gave me this, it looks like a grenade. And she gave it to me for Christmas. And I go, why are you giving me a grenade? She said, because it seems like everybody comes in your office, they've got everything's just exploding in their life. I said, oh, cool.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it sounds like it can be a stressful thing, but also a good thing to help people out, especially people that
Yeah.
are working for
I
you.
love it. It's great.
That's awesome. So I guess like what is I this kind of goes back on the question of like getting back into it, but what do you think like is the most important thing for someone to know who's going into real estate?
Their why. Why are they doing it?
Okay.
So, because if they don't have a good why that helps drive them, they're going to quit. It's hard. It's a hard business. It's hard to get started. Once you get things going, it's a little easier to keep it going because then people by word of mouth hear about you. But it's hard to get started. I mean, it just is. Anybody that tells you it's not, they haven't done it. It's hard. So you got to understand why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, and that's got to be your driver to some degree.
I love it. I guess like a follow-up question for you is you've been in how long you been doing real estate for?
27 years.
7 years. I think that's sorry. I remember you saying that. I guess like has your why changed over the years of why you've been doing it, or has your why always been the same since you started?
It's a good question. I don't know if I know the answer to that. I think initially, my why was my family, and because I didn't have any other options, I didn't have a degree.
Hmm.
Things are different now. I mean, a lot of you can have a successful career without having a college degree, but I think I missed on out on some stuff by some knowledge and some practical application. But has my why changed? Maybe it's developed a little bit. It's not just about me or my family. I enjoy helping other people and helping people be successful, and that wasn't part of my why when I initially got started.
Mm, I love that. And so that's kind of been your why now. And so I guess what are your like dreams and hopes for your company moving forward, or you and your profession? What do you hope to get out of the next couple years?
Well, what I love about it is I enjoy the freedom. I mean, there's freedom, but there's not freedom. Like I can go to the lake, or I can do certain things, but that means I'm also gonna have to take phone calls at night. You have to give and take. But our I mean, I hope to when the time comes for us to retire, I hope we sell our company, and um I'll probably never stop doing real estate. I love it. So, and it's what I'm passionate about. So I'll probably, besides pickleball, um, I'll probably always be doing real estate my whole until I'm dead.
I love it. Is there anything about real estate that you dislike or
The dislike,
yeah.
I dislike people that don't take responsibility for their own choices. I don't dislike people. I dislike the choices. Like I don't like having to deal with like somebody enters into a contract, a buyer or a seller, and then they change their mind because this, that, or the other, and then they start getting mad at everybody else because it's of a choice that they made of their own. So those kind of things annoy me a little bit.
So that can be some of the frustrations of real estate is having to deal with other people's choices, especially in the
When they're not good choices, yes.
I think it probably is everything in life, right?
Yep, that's right.
Um, I guess you being in real estate, is there anything that you're looking for? I mean, as communication, that was a big thing that you hit on, but is there anything as like a broker you're looking for in people, I guess, that you're hiring? If you were to hire, get a like a bunch of applicants come in, what are you looking for in those people?
I think the number one thing I'm looking for is someone's ability to work hard, because it's hard business. And I've seen different types of personalities be successful in real estate. There's not like one, hey, this is the model person. There's been people that I thought there's no way that person's going to be successful, and they killed it. There's been other people I thought they're going to kill it, and they weren't. And a lot of it goes back to work
Mm,
and being able to handle objections in a way that um, you don't let the word no define you. You just keep going. But I mean, you got to work. I mean, you got to treat it like a job. I have people that'll come in to me and say, hey, I'm not doing very well. Well, tell me about what you're doing. And they're working 15, 18 hours a week. But if they were working at, Costco or In and Out or something, they'd be working 40 hours a week. So
mm.
I'll ask them, well, why aren't you working enough? Why aren't you working more? And then they start giving me all these excuses. Um, and at the end of the day, it's the excuses is why they're not successful, because they're allowing excuses to define their choices.
Wow, some good advice. I love it.
It's good advice. That's right.
That is super good advice. I guess we're kind of closing up here on the interview. I guess just one last, I guess any last advice um that you could give me moving forward.
Um, learn how to work hard. Learn, if you don't already know, learn how to not let no define you. Accept responsibility for your own successes and failures. Don't blame other people, because the people that spend all their time blaming other people instead of looking back at them, um, at the end of the day, they're just making excuses. And also surround yourself with people that believe in you. There are plenty of people in the world that will tell you why you can't do something, or you won't be good at it, or all these reasons. But be around people that believe in you. That like, I got you, Luke. Like, yeah, no problem. That's hard. No, but you can do this. That's what you need to be successful.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to meet with me and give me all this good advice about your company and your organization. And I hope the best for you and your company. And uh hopefully we'll stay in touch. Hopefully one day I may or may not be coming in for an interview and hopefully working for you or something like that. So
Sure. Love to see you anytime, Luke. You're welcome to my office in American Fork. I know your dad, and if you ever want to come in, you can just talk to him, and I'm happy to get together. You've got my number. Feel free to stop by anytime.
yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much, Steve.
See you, Luke.
All right, bye.